As you recall from the UML diagram that we saw quite some time earlier, there are all sorts of different shapes that derive from the shape class, and the shape class derives from the node class as well as the image view deriving from the node class. So nodes constitute all sorts of different things that we might be using in JavaFX programming. Within the node class, then, are many properties and methods that are common to everything that derives from that we refer to as nodes. Two of the most important ones are style and rotate, and these are things that you often wish to apply in groups. Web pages, which are written in HTML code, use something called CSS or cascading style sheets to specify a particular look and theme for a website. The JavaFX style properties serve a similar purpose, where you can specify some common attributes that you want to apply to give a common look or theme to everything that you do within JavaFX. As a result of this, the style properties that exist in JavaFX are called JavaFX CSS. There's a method that's inherited from all nodes that derive from the node class called SetStyle. This method is designed to set the style of different properties that exist in a node. It accepts a string that uses the prefix -fx- to specify a particular property, and then a colon, and then the particular value that you wish to apply to that particular property. Many such combinations of property names and property values can be concluded in a single string delimited each by a semicolon. We have an example of that on this slide. We have circle.setStyle, and then the argument is a string argument consisting of setting two different properties. There's a single semicolon between those two. The first property is the stroke property, and it's being set to black here. The second property is the fill property, and it's set to red. So if we were to do this in the context of a circle as we've done here, then we will get a circle whose outline is black filled with red. The final result is no different than if we had used the two statements below this, circle.setStroke color.black, circle.setFill color.red, similar to code that you've seen earlier in one of our demos where we had a black circle with a white fill color actually. If you make a mistake in your specification of this -fx- string, then your program will still compile and run, but the style will be ignored. That can lead to some difficulty troubleshooting sometimes when you're not sure exactly what went wrong, since you don't have any indication that there was a problem. The rotate property is another common property that allows you to specify a particular angle of rotation for a node. The angle is specified in the context of the original position of the node, and positive angles indicate clockwise rotation from that position, whereas a negative angle would indicate the opposite, a counterclockwise rotation. That's contrary to what you would have learned in your mathematics classes, where you would have been taught that a positive angle represents a clockwise rotation while a negative angle represents a counterclockwise rotation. So you just have to get used to the fact that it's a different convention used in JavaFX. Not terribly surprising, given that the origin that we use is different as well, as you learned, origin being the top left corner as opposed to the middle, and x values going to the right, y values going downwards instead of upwards. So things are different, and it's just one of the things you'll need to get used to. The angle is expressed in degrees. On this slide, you see an example program, a small example program that illustrates some of the things we just finished talking about. For example, the SetStyle method is illustrated here, as well as being able to rotate a particular pane. The nice thing about rotating a pane is that all of the nodes that we put in the pane will rotate together with that pane. In this case, we're only demoing a single node within the pane, but you could imagine that we'd put other things in there and they would all rotate together within the pane. We're going to run this now in the Eclipse IDE to see how it works, and we'll talk more about the code when we do that.